Good morning. Happy Saturday morning cartoons, Doodle Crew. We're back. We're finally back with a Saturday morning cartoon, and we're hitting early because I'm bad at scheduling. Yay! But I'm excited that this episode is finally happening. I've been very excited about this one because it's fun. So let's just kick right into it. So to let everybody know, we're doing Cereal Mascot Battle Royale. Woo-hoo!
Hot dog.
Yeah, so I'm excited to do that. So let's go around, introduce where people can find you, fun new projects you have coming up, and which cereal mascot you'll be working on. So Maegan, going to you first.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. I am Maegan Cook. You can find me across the interwebs at Maegan C Creates, especially on Instagram, where I'm most active. And I am super excited to say that today at noon, we have a Kickstarter going live to fund pre-orders for the zine that I've been working on with over 30 wonderful artists and writers. Constellations in Flux. It's a romance anthology. So check out the link, follow it, and you'll get notified at noon.
Yay! Very excited. Also, just shameless self-promotion. I'm in it, so you should definitely book it. And Joey, where can they find you? What are you doing?
Well, you can find me everywhere on the internet at Slooty Mage, drawing safe for work, not safe for work art. You can also hear this voice meant for newspaper only on the Older and Dumber podcast, which has public episodes out wherever you listen to podcasts every Friday. And you can meet the entire podcast crew at the upcoming Twin Tiers Comic-Con next weekend at the Arnett Mall Event Center.
Woo! Woo! I don't have those links ready, but I will put them in the chat.
We'll share them at some point.
Check the chat. And Maegan, I forgot to ask, which cereal mascot are you doing?
Oh, snap. Yeah, I'm doing Toucan Sam.
Woo! And Joey, which one did you land on?
So there's a shocking lack of lady representation in cereal mascots.
You are not wrong.
I'm going to gender bend the Fruit.
Ooh. Brute. I love it. All right. 10 years. I'm gonna try. I had none of these links ready. Yeah. So yeah, you can find me all across the internet at S1 named Emily, doing stuff, making art, all the things. You can also find me and Maegan at Twin Tiers Comic-Con, the 12th and 13th, right?
Yes.
I went in so confident, and then
because Friday is the 11th.
Yes.
Because there's many releases at GameStop that day. It is a release day.
So yeah, you can find all of us at the Twin Tiers Comic-Con. Stop in, see. There's going to be a lot of great stuff. We are taking over the somewhat abandoned mall in our area. So we're bringing it life. We're bringing it color. We're bringing it a lot more fun than it's seen in a few years. There's going to be some awesome vehicles there. There's going to be a tremendous amount of amazing artists. It's 2 days. It's full days. There's a drink and draw afterwards. We're working in connection with the Checkpoint Gaming Lounge, which is awesome, and that's housed in the mall itself. So if you like to go and play video game systems that you maybe don't have access to, they've got a whole space set up for that, amongst other cool things. So, very excited about that. I'm smiling through my frustration. But yes, this is our local show. We love these guys. We love this show. I'm speaking for both of you because I just assume that's true.
Yes.
It's true for me.
It is allowed.
It is. No, this is great. I'm very excited for this one. Not just because this show means that I can sleep in my own bed each night, which is pretty clutch. But I love the community here. I love the community of our show as well. And you might, if you show up on Sunday, get to see some of us in Doodle Crew fashion in a live panel. What's that? So if you want to maybe snag some actual physical artwork from some of us, stop in on Sunday and see. There you go. There's my promo.
I hear there's a bunch of knuckleheads going to moderate it too.
There are, but they're really nice knuckleheads, and we like them. So yes, so the Twin Cheers crew has been doing an amazing amount of promotion. Check out all of their stuff. If you follow any of us on socials, I'm pretty sure you've seen us post about it, but definitely check that out. If there's any way that you can make it to this show, we would super appreciate it. If not, then check in with us next week or the week after and see how everything went. And yeah, I'm doing Tony the Tiger. That's my my final wrap up of all of that. Yeah, let's do Mascot Battle Royale. I'm excited. Yeah, so I was trying to think, like, I went D&D with mine because I'm like, okay, so what class would Tony the Tiger be? And I feel like he falls into like the drunken master.
Mhm.
Like that really, like, he's a really good fighter, but it's really unexpected because he's like so happy and jovial all the time, and then but it'll actually like whomp you. So that's the angle I'm going with.
He just goes full on tiger.
Nice.
Which I was looking up Shere Khan just because I love, like, his tiger design has always been iconic to me. So let's using that as reference.
Cool.
Yeah.
I decided, and I don't know why my brain went there, but I decided that Toucan Sam would fall into wizard class because he's always leading people on journeys and telling them to follow their nose and like magically make stuff like appear.
I love it. Oh, that's so good.
Oh, now I have the D&D class.
Yes, but I think out of all of us, you're the one who's most actively playing D&D. So, all right. Okay. All right, so I'm going to the Discord. Joey, I wanted to get one of your other links and then therefore could not find it anywhere. So go to the Discord. There it is. All right.
They're always in the Discord.
There's always in the Discord. There's always links in the Discord, just like there's always money in the banana stand. All right. There's the Hope YouTube link to Older and Dumber.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's
it's fun.
That's where you get to see the art every week. So.
Right, which I love. I will admit I absolutely loved the episode with Kevin. Oh.
Yeah, he was a riot. Everybody has commented on how funny Kevin was that episode. So.
Which I feel like we already knew, but it's, you know, it's nice to hear it from everybody else.
Pulled so many clips from that, and sadly only a few of those ever make it public. But if anybody ever joins the Patreon, there is a clip library on there.
Yeah.
Kevin has a big chunk of that.
Okay. There we go. All right. Whoop.
All right.
Ooh, close
I
the
guess I
wrong.
should put pen to canvas, right?
Megan and I were both lamenting, or like, we did no preliminary sketching. And I was like, I need you to know that everything I sketched happened this morning.
And I am just doing it live.
Yep.
Thought process is happening now, people.
Turn this head a little so we can get some snoot.
Oh, thank you, StreamYard. Popped up and said, looks like your mic was unplugged. Yeah, it was. The whole box was unplugged. Everything is fine. Yeah, I have follow-up questions for you, but I just want to take a moment that I feel like both of you can appreciate these excellent PNG images that I found on Google. Look at them. Look at them be PNG. Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Wow.
Lying to me, and I know it.
That fantastic transparent background.
It just cracks me up. It's never not funny to me. I'm just like, nope. Just because you named it PNG doesn't make it transparent background. Amazing. Okay. So since we were just talking about it, Joey, I'm going to throw to you first.
Mm-hmm.
Where did the inspiration for Older and Dumber come from?
Well, we had been talking about, Hunter and I mostly had been talking about some sort of outlet for creative content. And we knew we wanted to do something with filmmaking at some point. Short films and whatnot for YouTube. And we just weren't at a point where we felt like we were ready to do that content yet, but we still wanted to set the groundwork. And that's where the idea for the podcast started to bounce around, because that was something where we could just do what we do anyway, get together and talk about it. And at some point, and we had done other shows in the past. We had done Slaying Dragons in the Morning, which you guested on.
Yeah.
We had done content a few years ago with the 20 Sided Life, where we had done like board game reviews, and that had some other various programming. That's actually where Slaying Dragons in the Morning had started initially. So all of that sort of lended itself to, well, it's easy enough for us to sit around a table and talk for like an hour. And then at least we're putting something up, and we're starting the groundwork to grow this. And the idea is, and with the project we have that we're working on, that we're hoping to debut at Twin Tiers, that we can grow the podcast into a multimedia thing. And as we've pulled in other members, we've pulled in Carter, we've pulled in May, other guests, the idea is that through this central hub, we can help other creators grow their brands as well.
Heck yeah.
And then eventually turn it into sort of more of a multimedia brand that all spawned out of this idea of the central podcast.
Well, that's awesome. As long as you don't call it Entertainment 720, I think we'll be good. Well, that's exciting. That's... And you and Hunter have such great chemistry. You work so well together, and you have so many various interests. Like, I feel like it covers a lot of potential ground. And then as you bring in other people, like that, really, you have that core there. And again, you know me, I love me some community building and shouting out rad artists. That feels good. I didn't know you had stuff planning to premiere at Twin Tiers. That makes it extra fun and stressful for you.
Yep. It's a little passion project Hunter's been wanting to do for a while, and I don't want to give away too much, but it's been multimedia. So there's been art and video and sound and a lot of things going into it. And we've, discounting a week for the Florida trip, had about a month to put it all together. So it's been a very tight schedule. It feels very much like I'm back in art school, putting together a project for the end of the quarter.
Yep. I feel that so much. It's one of those where, like, we've left school and we're not in school anymore, but boy, are there times where it feels like we never actually left.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of cramming to try and finish a project for a deadline, hey, Maegan, do you want to talk about the inspiration and how you got started and put all this amazing zine stuff together? Notwithstanding your terrible members who can't make deadlines, myself.
Oh no. It's been that kind of week. I am also behind on my obligations as the project coordinator, but don't tell nobody. I don't think anybody's figured it out yet. So the inspiration for Constellations in Flux actually came a few years back. In the pre-pandemic times.
The before times?
After I had moderated the Steven Universe zine, Jimcation, and kind of got the feel of how those projects are put together, I was thinking, I'm doing a lot of, like Secret Gold had just come out and stuff. I'm like, I'm doing a lot of like romance stuff. It'd be really cool to put together like a romance zine with like a theme. And of course, my obsession with space is quite well known. So I was like, it'd be really cool to do like a celestial romance thing. But I had to back shelf it because other projects were going on. And then I couldn't get the people that I kind of wanted to work with together on it. Like they were busy. And then this year, when I sat down and I'm like, this is the stuff I'm going to put out this year for projects, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Even if it's just me, I'm doing it. So I put together a timeline and I'm like, what do we need to do to get this, to get contributors into it and get everything assembled and into production in time for a potential Valentine's Day delivery next year. And so we're doing it. The creation period is done. We have over 30 artists and about 7 writers, including myself, contributing. And the Kickstarter is going live today for pre-orders to cover the production costs. The Kickstarter will run until December 2nd, which gives me plenty of time to put together the actual zine. Is the next part of the project is I have to sit down and take all the wonderful art and writings that I've received and put it together into a book, get the book proofed, quality check with the contributors, and get it printed.
You know, the easy part, just
the part that's gonna basically be like, oh, where'd November go? That part.
Yeah.
But it's going. We're getting it done.
Well, and again, without saying too much, I'm so excited because I was mentioning this yesterday on my stream. I'm in the super secret Discord, so I get to see all of the art, and I'm like, oh yeah, oh, it's gonna be dope. So
it's gonna be so good, and people have said that they're gonna start sharing their whips and stuff. So there'll be little sneak peeks coming throughout the campaign. Yay. I'm so excited.
That's awesome. No, like fun friends doing fun projects. It's so cool. I just love it. And I feel like very important for me to mention right now after all of this fun stuff is I'm giving him a loincloth because I just don't want to navigate tiger lower half. I just don't. It's Saturday morning. I just want to do it. So he's getting an additional scarf around his lower section. Just owning up to it now. I think it's fun with these mascots specifically because, as I was thinking about who I wanted to draw and everything, I was like, man, they're all so present in my brain, but I have genuinely never drawn them. I don't think about them that way. So it's kind of been a fun, okay, what are his actual details? And I know, at least for Tony, he got a glow up, quote unquote, and became 3D. So I was like, ooh, okay, so how does that compare? Which honestly, for all of when they turn 2D characters into 3D that I'm not always stoked on, I think they did a really good job. He kept a lot of his jovial and cuteness. I don't feel like he got super serious or they didn't make him harder because I'm like, you can't really do that. That's not how he go.
like Tony's my motivational guru. You can't change Tony,
right? I was like, no, he has positive attitude and he's the gym coach that you want. You're just like, no, he'll push you and he'll really encourage you, but boy, he will be so proud of you no matter what you do, and that's just what you need.
It's beautiful.
He's beautiful. I love him.
I think a big problem with when they try to do the 2D to 3D thing is there was this push for the longest time that if we're doing 3D, we have to make it more realistic.
Yep.
And I think studios are finally starting to get away from that. They're starting to push into stylistic stuff with like Spider-Verse. And,
Yeah.
A couple other projects that have come out recently where they're getting away from it. And they're like, let's push this medium and see what we can actually do with it.
Yeah. When I look back, and I always think, and it's just, I reference this one specifically just because it's the one that I know from being in college. And I remember being in the 3D forums in college when The Incredibles had come out,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody was asking for the rig for Mrs. Incredible when she does the balloon part. And I just remember it being people would talk about how they could not get it to actually not glitch. So the scenes, like the shots that they got, were because those were the only shots they could get where it wouldn't like mess up on them. So it wasn't a perfect rig you could just use. It was just, we got it to work and we used it for the shot and then we just let it go. Yep. So, you have these moments where there's exaggeration, but it comes at but then the program breaks and we can't actually do more with it. So, as they evolve the technology, you get to see more of this actual, like the exaggeration, the elasticity that you can always have in 2D that you really couldn't do right away in 3D. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you. Like, I think they're finally figuring out, like, I love it or hate it. I'm on the love it side, but I know I'm not universal in that. I love the Minions, and I love what the Minions movies have done. And those characters started to get a lot wackier. You think of Hotel Transylvania, like they got wackier. And even Disney, who kind of keeps it in their own specific style, what they did with Rapunzel's hair was still groundbreaking. So you're actually starting to get that fun, cartoony exaggeration back, which makes me happy.
Brave came out before Rapunzel, right?
Yes. I feel like they were very close.
I feel like they were very close. I was having a discussion, and I'm not sure I'm 100% correct, but I thought I heard somewhere that like Rapunzel's awesome effects on her hair was made possible by the breakthroughs they made with Merida's.
That would not surprise me at all.
I got bad news.
Oh.
Bad news? Is that backwards?
Yeah. Tangled was 2010. Brave was 2012.
Okay. All right. I got it backwards. It's fine. One impacted the other. Okay.
Yes. No, awesome. And then like I think Emily and I had talked about this before. Like they had done so much with Rapunzel's hair in Tangled, and then when they got to Frozen, Elsa's hair was like 4 times what they had done on Tangled, and it doesn't do anything. It's just in a braid.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's so funny. Well, and this was the last Doodle Crew episode. It was just Nicole and I. We were drawing monsters, and she was drawing from Monsters Incorporated. One, I was not emotionally prepared for how long that came out ago. But also, I remember watching like the specials, the behind the scenes stuff, because I just ate that shit up. I still do. Let's be real. I still eat that stuff up. Give me all of the sketches. Give me the behind the scenes. Give me the how you did it. I want all of it. I will sit and watch all of it. But I remember them talking about how challenging Sully's hair was. So he's the big blue monster, but like how much they had to do and how difficult that was at the time, but it looks so good. Like, and we had kind of talked about where there are elements of it that look a little bit more rudimentary just because we've come so far, but the voice acting and the actual like animation of it is still so solid. Like that's what for me carries it through, even if they're like, oh, some of these textures and some of the lighting just aren't as good as what we can do now because we grow and we learn. But, I was talking about the scene where Sully thinks that Boo has gone through the trash compactor. And it's just a window, and it's just him acting through all of it. Like, there's a little bit of sound and everything, but it's all in the animation. I'm like, that's still so freaking good. Like, yeah, it's just incredible. So. animation.
I tell you what, if you really want to see how far 3D animation has come, we recently went through the Toy Story movies with Baby Girl, and the first Toy Story movie, still beautiful, still amazing, but you can tell, especially background textures and things, it's like, whoo, that's noticeable now. But they did such an amazing job that the toys looking plasticky like still works.
Yeah.
The people not so much, but
no, the humans look real weird, but they're not the main part. They're such a small facet of it, and honestly, the fact that Sid looks creepy really just works in the favor of the story.
It just works.
Like, yeah, no, he's terrible. That's you nailed that one. Clearly, they had known that child because they just nailed that. Yeah, no, Toy Story delights me. It's so good.
So good.
That is a pretty good roadmap, though, of how far 3D has come for animation.
100%. Well, and I think what's fascinating to me, so obviously, I pursued a degree in animation, so I kind of like this stuff. But years ago, I was putting together an animation podcast, which unfortunately never saw the light of day. But it let me go back and do a whole bunch of research into the animation stuff, which I hadn't really done since college. And I'm enough of a nerd where I'm just like, research on a thing that I love? Yes, please. But it was an excellent, kind of going back in and just seeing, one, the short amount of time we've actually been making animated movies, because again, movies, not that long, but all of the stuff that came before it. But what is fascinating to me in regards to all of that specifically is the compressed time frame in which 3D animation has made the jumps that it has. Like, you look at Snow White coming out in the 20s, and honestly taking all the way through to like the mid 80s to really become, going through the Disney Renaissance and getting to those movies that just, pretty much as soon as Glenn Keane comes on the scene, like, shit's just tight and it's so good. But then you look at, like you're saying, with Toy Story came out in the 90s. Like, it's not that long ago that they have made all of these incredible jumps forward and leaps forward with it. So it's very fascinating just to see, how much stuff has changed in a shorter time frame.
Yeah, I mean, it is wild. Like, animation as a whole, too. Like, from going from that early, almost rotoscoped look on everything to some of the stuff now is just so wild. Like, and then the mixing of different technologies and styles, like we're getting with Spider-Verse and we were getting with Arcane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, the sky's the limit right now.
Yeah. Oh, I want to switch pens. No, it's exciting. And I think, something I talk about in my teaching, in my classes, and it's important for me to mention to the kids, not just, the I'm so old thing, which is usually what I preface it all with, but there has been an amazing shift in how animation can be distributed to the world. And it's very cool where if you don't want to work for a huge studio, you don't have to. You and a small team can produce passion projects and put it on YouTube or put it on Vimeo. And there's all these different ways, or, get super lucky and get picked up by Netflix or the like. Like, yep. You are no longer beholden to this one very specific place. And so I think it has it has changed the game of people who really are excited about this and want to do their own thing. You can in a much more accessible and potentially successful way.
Yeah, I think Vizzy with Hell of a Boss has really set the groundwork for that. Like, you don't need a studio if
Yep.
if you've got a team that cares about it and you can get it out there, it'll be successful.
Yep. Which I think is important. I think in this time of so many monopolies, and so many, everything all funnels into the same place. I think, having smaller places and smaller ideas kind of gain that great traction and really, show that they're popular without excuse me, that huge backing, I think is important, and I think it's needed. Just sitting down the first time and like opening up the animation feature in Procreate and messing around with that, like my brain just broke, because I'm just like, this is so incredibly, like, it's such a well-designed program. It's so simple. It's so user-friendly. Like, and again, obviously I have the benefit of having a lot of years of animation understanding, but still, like, I have kids who learn it that day and jump into it and are already animating. Like, it's hard for me to state it in class to these kids who've never, experienced a world without a certain level of technology. But I was just like, I feel like college would have been very different if this was technology that we had. But just a funny realization as I'm getting into more of the nitty gritty with him. They don't show his teeth.
He has no teeth?
He has no teeth. I mean, no visible teeth, which I think is interesting. I'm if I had to guess, I'm betting it's a, like, make him look more friendly. Without
that is probably the logic behind that, because tiger's teeth, I don't think there's a way to make that friendly.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, they're for chomping. They're murder. What's been funny to me in in being home more, and therefore then getting to spend more time with my cat, and she's got tiger stripe markings on her, and it's funny to just watch her walk and then watch like a tiger walk cycle. Like, the fact that they are just, house cats are just tiny versions of this. Like, there's a fascinating thing of like, no, I could see if you were 1,000 pounds, like No, it's very cool, and it's it's one of those where just me sitting there watching a walk cycle, nerding out, or just I think it's funny. I was like, I like this version. This is the size that I would like. She's 10 pounds. That's perfect. It's just the right amount of trouble for me. Oh no. Vineyard Warrior says, gotta give him some teeth. He could have human teeth. Oh, I feel like if he had human teeth, it'd be so creepy.
That would be making the Sonic debacle.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
There's a part of me that wants to watch that movie. I'm so behind on literally so many other things that it's very low on the list, but I am curious.
Oh, it's a fun ride. If you get a chance, you should watch it. It's a fun ride.
And they are making the second one. Second one's already come out. It's out.
It's out. Yeah.
Idris Elba's Knuckles, right?
Oh, that's right.
I believe so. Yeah. And there's a really cool teaser at the end of the second one. No spoilers.
I will admit, and again, somehow it's funny enough, this came up on stream yesterday. For all my formative years of video gaming, I was primarily a PlayStation person and a Game Boy and therefore Pokemon person. But I missed all of Mario, all of Zelda, all of Sonic. Like, I just never played any of the... I know. I know, I'm aware.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. So it's been funny to me in like years since of like slowly catching up on the lore and all of that, but none of them have, we'll say definitely none of them have the same hold on me as Pokemon did, because that was my like first Game Boy, first gaming system, first game. So I was like, oh, you're going to become my personality for the rest of my life. Yep. But I had, very strict limits on how much I could and couldn't play. So I got really into fighting games because you can successfully play fighting games on a 30-minute timer. RPGs, not so much. Played the first bit of Chrono Cross about 16 times before I finally just gave up, because you don't get to the first save point in the first like half an hour. Yep. Yeah. So I'd be like, Mom, please just let me save so I don't have to watch all of these unskippable cutscenes again. No. Yep. So Chrono Cross, never made it past that. Yeah. So lots of fighting games. Anything short racing games. I was a big Jet Moto person. But yeah, not a lot of platformers. Which then, as I started to play with other people, I'm like, wow, I'm garbage at this because I had no practice. So, yep.
So I was the Nintendo nut, and my brother was the Sega nut.
Ooh.
So we get both. Now, my first gaming system technically was the Game Boy and Pokemon, but I did play my cousin's Nintendo, and we had friends that had a Super Nintendo. So I played a lot of Mario growing up, but my first system was Game Boy. And actually my first favorite game was not Pokemon. It was Millipede Centipede. I don't know what that says about me, but that is my favorite all-time game.
Centipede. Okay, so for the uninformed, myself included, what is the premise of Millipede Centipede? It's just fun to say.
It's an arcade-style game where you just have a little critter that kind of worms around and grows, and the goal is to get around the board without touching your own pieces. So it'll grow really, really, really long, and eventually it's impossible. But yeah, I don't know why.
Hey man,
popular mobile game.
I was gonna say, Snake is super fun. I'm here for all of it. I love Snake.
Yeah, it's essentially Snake. Yeah, it's just the version for Game Boy. It was Centipede, Millipede, and I think there was actually a difference between the two. I don't know. I'll have to dig up my Game Boy, I guess. I don't know. I'll have to revisit that piece of nostalgia.
So I was the kind of gamer who I wasn't like having a game all the time, but when a game came out that I wanted to play, that was what I was doing. I'd take 3 days off of school and just juggernaut through it. And be like, okay, I'm done with this. And then I wouldn't play another game for like 6 months till something else came out that I wanted to play.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. I've lived that life.
Very different gamer in my adult life. Now that we're mostly doing like my friend group will do like online co-op stuff. So we'll play like League of Legends, or we'll play Overwatch, or so we're all in Discord just talking to each other, playing whatever co-op game we're playing. And oh hey, what are you doing? You want to play games? And
yeah.
That's what we're doing tonight.
That's fun though. I mean again, multiplayer revolutionized games and gaming. I was not as much online because we had dial-up phone for a really long time. But I really liked Unreal Tournament when that came out. That was one because I liked Tomb Raider, and as I got a little bit older and was allowed to play a little bit more, like I got into those. And that it was funny to me because in going to college, we used the Unreal Engine to kind of bring our 3D models in to work through them and everything. So I was like, I know this. I played this game, which was fun.
How excited were you the first time you played a game and it was like, oh, you can save your progress anywhere?
Very, very excited.
Oh,
very
so
excited.
Nice.
Yep. To not have to, and I was talking about this yesterday. The amount of heartbreak and frustration because I played this game for hours, not realizing it was just a bad game. But it was the original Lion King game for the Game Boy. So many deaths and so many like I just want to. I wish I could just save so I didn't have to get through this terrible part again. The hours of my life.
So many hours. Oh, the waterfall. I hated the waterfall. The wildebeest I finally figured out, but the waterfall, man.
Yep.
Just remember seeing that the first time, and it was like, your game will auto save its progress. If you see this, don't turn it off. And it's like, what? My God, what? Those first few times you're playing one of those, and you're like, I'm scared to turn the console off because I don't know if it's saved.
Yep. Oh God, there was I couldn't tell you. It was probably a Final Fantasy. But I'm pretty sure I just left my PlayStation on overnight because I was so worried that it wouldn't like turn the TV off, but left the PlayStation on because I was like, please, I don't want to lose my progress. Oh God, that's so funny. Yeah. Well, I was listening to a YouTube video while I was working the other day, and one of the people was talking about how they used to just get the game guides and just read through them, and I was like, oh, big same. Like I knew a lot more about how Final Fantasy VIII went along because I certainly never got to disc 4. Like no. That one was hard. It was hard, and I was not good at it. I'll put these too close. Oh, well.
I remember the trailers for Final Fantasy VII coming out and thinking that, oh my God, this looks so good. This is going to revolutionize gaming. We have to play this.
I mean, kind of, yeah. Like
it did, and then but you go back and you look at it now with its little bubble guys, and
yeah. Oh my gosh,
Man,
the
cutscenes.
cutscenes. Like that was what Tomb Raider did to me, where I was just like, look at these cutscenes. And then, coming back to Lara and her triangle polygons. Yep. Oh my god. Yeah, some of the it was some of the scenes in Final Fantasy VIII. So Randall, who's also on Doodle Crew, and I talk about it a bunch because there's times where like they're talking about how like handsome Squall is or something, and they just cut to like one of the in-game sprites where it's just like a flat sheet with like little pixels, and he looks deformed, and I was like, so handsome. It's just amazing. I was like, yep, we were using our imaginations. Is what we were doing. Oh goodness. It's too funny.
And at that time, too, you had things like Warcraft 3 and stuff coming out where it was like, look at these cutscenes. They're so epic. And they were like, bogged down your computer so bad. You'd be like, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. Just let it buffer.
Yep. We can get it. We can do it.
We can do it. We can make it.
Yep.
Oh, and you go back to your little city building RTS. Oh man, that was awesome.
It was so great. And then when they introduced the heroes in the campaign in 3, and it was like, oh, I could play as actual characters, not knowing what was coming, But Blizzard had it figured out. They're like, as soon as we figure out how to make this into a RPG, we're gonna be set.
Yeah. It's over for you.
It's over for all these PC gamers.
I think at a very short amount of time in my life, up until this current era, did I ever have a PC that was strong enough to play some of the heavier duty games. Like there was a small window where I did for a little bit, but so much of it, no.
I had a friend in college who went all out one year with the Alienware. He got like a beast of a machine. I don't remember what game he played, but he had like one game he liked to play, and he just went all out on Alienware. And I was like, okay, cool.
You get down with your bad self.
Yeah.
Do it.
It's wild to think that some of those games that you had to wait for new consoles for, more powerful computer, you can play them on your phone now.
Yeah.
Your phones are more powerful than those systems were.
Yep.
Oh god, it's weird.
It's so
it's weird.
Okay, even just the difference between PlayStation 1 and when the PlayStation 2 came out, like what it could do, like blew my tiny child brain. I was like, what? Oh gosh, what was it? There was some crazy thing that was being advertised for on the phone where I was having that same thought where I was just like, oh my gosh, this would take like every ounce of my computer's processing power back in the day.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh god.
Wouldn't run on a PlayStation 1.
Amazing. Aha, tricked myself. Forgot to draw in other things up here. Well done. Oh, man.
The question is, where does this mullet start?
Oh my gosh, we were talking about Baltimore Comic-Con a little bit before we went live, and I didn't mention it then, but I was just thinking about it. There was a gentleman who, for some reason, I think he was working with somebody in the aisle or close to the aisle I was in, who kept walking up and down the aisle, who had just, like, he had a powerful mullet, but it's that new, like, fashion mullet where
fashion
it's like
mullet.
like no, you did this on purpose. And I'm just
oh God.
Oh yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing for the youths. There were two. I'm gonna try and refrain from calling them little boys. Two high school kids who were helping out at the winery. Who one of them had just straight up like no, you could clearly say he got it shaved into a mullet, and I had a moment every time I'd walk past him where I'm like, you can't stare. You can't stare. I was like, you did that to your head on purpose. Okay.
Yeah, it blows my mind that the mullet's a thing.
You know what blows my mind? I thought these were fake when I first saw the post about the 90s costumes this year for Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that can't be real. It was real.
It was real.
It was real. And I was like, no. I can't believe kids are buying like little butterfly hair clips ironically. Like that's my childhood. Go away.
Oh my God.
Go away.
I know. No, when like because that was the thing, like whatever was the current like trending thing, we would all of a sudden see like groups of people would show up to the winery looking like that. And I just like the jeans and the sneakers and like little crop tops, and I'm just standing there just like seething and like no no, I hate it. Yeah. And I have to laugh because it's funny at a certain point because then everybody looks the same. Like they all subscribe to the same uniform. And I was like, at a certain point, I was like, you stop looking unique. You just all look the same, but okay. Yeah. Have those moments where I was like, is this what it felt like when the 70s became a costume? I'm sorry.
It's like the older you get, the more you feel like you might owe your parents an apology just for life.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
So sorry. Sorry I called your music old.
I just like the term skullet. That's incredible.
The skullet. That's bald on top, long and back.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the very first thing that I saw that kind of made me do a double take with that was they're the black chokers that kind of, I think they just call them tattoo chokers, but they just kind of have like little swirls and stuff on them. Like I saw a couple of my students wearing them and I was like, what's happening? What is happening with this? Like,
Oh God.
Oh no.
Yeah, you had the tattoo chokers and the invisible chokers where you added little beads to the plastic things, but they were clear plastic, so all you saw was the beads.
Yeah, it's magic.
Magic.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Vinny Roy says, it trips me out seeing my mom's photos from high school and she looks older than she does now because of the different styles. Oh, yeah, like you look at the high school yearbooks of my parents, which, you know, they were there in the 70s, but everybody's in like a suit jacket and like what would have been styles from the 50s top. So they look like adults. They don't look like high schoolers.
Oh, geez.
It's just weird. It's crazy to me. I think that some of the ones I'm the most impressed with, though, are there's a few TikTokers that I enjoy who are clearly millennials, but they somehow either they bought or they still had a lot of their stuff from those years, and so they'll put like getting ready in 2001, and they'll have. I'm just like, oh my god, like it's exactly it, but it's so weird. Like, oh no, I got rid of all of that stuff. No. Also, adult me is not fitting into a lot of those clothes anymore.
I was gonna say, yeah, high school me and adult me are not the same sizes, so
Nope.
that would not work.
Nope.
I tell you what, I do wish I had held on to a pair of Jinkos, though. Could you imagine auctioning off one of those bad boys these days?
I know.
Be like 45-inch UFOs. Start the bidding at $600.
Yep.
Craziness.
It is crazy. Complete side tangent, though. Something that I am super jazzed about with these characters is because they have to be kind of simplistic, their coloring is very simplistic.
Yeah.
I'm loving me some basic ass cell shading. Yeah. Let's do it. This is my wheelhouse. Yeah, so tiny spoiler. The piece that I did for Constellations is more painterly. And I was lamenting to a couple of my friends because I was like, I had an open freedom. I could do whatever I wanted to do. And I was like, you know what you want to do? Super heavy painterly digital art. Like the thing that we never do, that we're not practiced at, that we're not good at. Yeah, let's do that. I'm like, you could have picked anything. You could have picked anything. Why did you do that? But finished it. I'm happy with it, but dear Lord, was cursing. Because I think, at least for me, because I don't do it as much, the painterly stage stays in the like ugly teenage phase for a long time. Like it doesn't look like how I want it to look for a long time. And so it can be really, really hard not to just be like, that's it. I hate it. I'm scrapping it. I'm deleting all of it.
Rage quit.
Yeah. I didn't. I made it through. I used to do the same crap in college, though. It was like, you have an open-ended prompt and project. And I was like, let's make this as hard on myself as I possibly can.
I would do that to myself where it's like, here's a project you're really going to enjoy. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do something I've never done before. That seems like a good idea.
No, why?
Like, I'm going to try a completely different medium, a completely different style. This will work, right?
I think we all do that at some point. We're like, oh man, I really like this. I want to try it. And then you're like, why did I do this? I don't understand this. I don't know what this medium is.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I need an adult.
Yeah, seriously. Well, and I'll tell you, it's funny because while I have different deadlines now, so I keep to what is comfortable. When I'm drawing in free time or drawing here for Doodle Crew, I have those moments where I'm like, oh, you should really push. Like, you should try and challenge yourself with this and everything. And I have to like talk myself through the fact that I was like, it's okay if you just draw the fun way. Like, you're allowed to do that and just make a piece of art that's easy. Like, you're not copping out. It's okay. But yeah, still gotta talk through that. It's like, dumb, stupid garbage brain. What are you doing? Well, I know Nicole and I have talked about it a bit in regards to watercolor, as she was getting more into that and helpfully encouraging me to get my butt into it more. Um, and it was there was a whole section of time where it took unlearning specific rules that I had put on myself that don't actually exist. Like, you can just do whatever you want with watercolor. It doesn't, like, okay, you want to then go back over it with Posca markers and clean up your lines or add white. Okay. You want to leave your pencil sketches on it so you can still see it. Okay. You want to outline in liner marker because that's how you draw. Okay. And like, I had to keep teaching myself that it was okay to just use this medium in a way that worked for me and was fun for me. So, because, my brain was just like, well, it's got to be this. It's got to be a really beautiful landscape. You can't see any pencil line. It's got to look this and look this. I'm like, or not. Or I could just paint Monster Prom characters and have a blast.
Yeah, I had the same problem with watercolor. Like, I'm like, I don't know how people get these vibrant colors and like paint a whole piece of watercolor. And finally I gave up. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use it as a base. And then I'm going over everything with markers or color pencil. And people are just going to have to deal.
Yep.
It's fine.
Yep.
This is fine.
Yep. And then learning, the amount of people who do then go back in with like watercolored pencils and get like those harder, like there's so many things where I'm just like, oh, you can just do this. And then it looks okay. Yep. Cool. That's great. All right.
It's almost like I've been lied to. I thought you just had to like, you were only allowed to use the brush and the water and the paint. What do you mean you could do other things?
Yep.
What?
Yep. Yeah. I don't know where that mentality came from, but now, in talking to so many people about it, everybody, like all of us, were like, no, if you're going to do that, you can only do it like this. Like, this is the only way you can watercolor. It's like, haha, false. This is not, in fact, the only way. Again, we've been lied to.
We've been lied to.
Every time I've attempted paint, I go in, I'm like, all right, this is the time. I make the first brushstroke, and the paint doesn't drag across the canvas, it just stops. And I'm like, yes, now I remember why I hate painting.
Yep. Well, and even like silly little stuff, like Maegan, like you were saying, like getting more vibrant colors, like now having access to some nicer watercolors, like, and knowing that, oh, I need to let them soak because that's going to bring them out, or the getting the paint wet and then painting directly onto dry paper will get you something different than wetting the paper first and then bringing the pigment over. Like all these little things where I'm just like, oh, okay, but I didn't know that. Like, I just thought that you did it this one way and you did it with cheap Crayola watercolors and then it was just crap and you just lived with it. Turns out it doesn't have to be that way. And even, I'm a huge proponent of being able to make fun art with whatever supplies you have. And I do think that a lot of the stuff you can get away with more economy art supplies, but there's definitely times when I've found with watercolor, it's a lot to do with the paper. Like once I got actual nicer paper and I was like, oh, it reacts in a predictable way and it actually like absorbs into the paper and then I can do more stuff with it. Okay. And the paper isn't just like pilling up on my brush. All right. I see you. But again, not things that I knew beforehand. But to your point, Joey, I still have those moments where I'm like, I sit there. It's been with acrylic most recently because I painted a couple of bigger projects, and I just sit there and I'm like, I just wish you would work. Just work.
Why aren't
please.
you like a marker? Why don't you flow?
Why don't you make sense to my brain like all the other supplies I use? Yeah. Here. Here. Boop. Here.
Had that conversation where I'm like, well, maybe it was acrylic, and if I try oil's supposed to be more of a slicker, wet medium. Maybe that'll work the way I want it to. This is the same. Doing the same thing.
No. Yeah, I have not been brave enough to do oil. I've always avoided that one. But I like, and we used it a little bit in college, but I really like gouache because it's kind of that nice middle ground between acrylic and watercolor, because it wasn't like my thing with watercolor in my learning years was more like as soon as you put something down, you have to stick with it because there's no pulling it back up. There's no covering it up. Like, nope, you did it. Now it lives there forever. Whereas with acrylic, I'm like, no, if I mess it up, I just keep painting over it. So with gouache, you still get that beautiful like fluidity of watercolor, but you can like, nope, taking the white and painting over that because I messed it up. Yeah, I definitely live in I have found certain mediums that I really like. I like how they work. I like working in them. And so then when I switch to other stuff, I'm just like, not the same. I'm struggling.
Oh, there's chat now.
Yeah, Vineyard Roy was saying his daughter just got some of the big like Jinko pants. Not quite as big, but definitely they're making a comeback. And again, because I live on TikTok now and it's rotted my brain, I love and it's beautiful because it's said in jest. Like it's a funny thing. But the millennials who will be like, unless you're letting those pants drag on the ground with like 2.5 inches of wet picked up and the back of the seam completely frayed because you walked all over them, you're not really.
Yep.
You're not wearing them right.
Yeah, like, oh my God, I used to hate that. Like, I hated having my pants drag and then get like the back of my socks wet. I'm just like, this feels terrible.
But also, so cool.
It was so cool.
So
As a short person, it didn't matter what pants I bought. They all were going to drag unless mom hemmed them or I cuffed them. So, yeah. I think my favorite along those lines is we went pants shopping at one point, and I remember being in the dressing room and my mom handed me a pair and I tried them on and I was really excited because I was like, man, they're so close. Like they actually fit in all the places, which is not a thing I usually found. And I was like, they're right on the edge of high waters, but they're really close. Like they're really comfy. And I came out and I was like, I really like them. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, what? She's like, they're women's capris. And I'm like, great. I can wear them as pants.
Oh, no.
Cool. Well, fine. I'm wearing them anyways. I don't care. Yep. Good time. But I'm also firmly in the camp of, I have become so comfortable in wearing leggings most of the time. I was like, you'll pry these from my cold dead hands. I'm not going back to jeans. Are you kidding me? Oppressive pant prison? No. I'll never go back.
You can't make me.
You can't make me. Can't do it.
these feet do yet. So
What those feet do, girl. So for your, we'll say 18 plus Slooty Mage stuff, do you put that behind your Patreon, or do you have an OF for it?
some of it's on the Patreon. A lot of it goes up on Twitter. Twitter's like my not safe for work account.
Yeah. Well, it's been funny to me as I've come across a few artists that I really like who do more not safe for work stuff, and it's just openly on Twitter, and I was like, oh, Twitter's the new Tumblr. Look at all that. Look at all them titties out.
I hear Tumblr's back.
Yeah, I'm very like I'm cautiously watching it from across the way, like holding my little tea and being like, okay, all right. But again, if we're going full 90s, then it would be appropriate that Tumblr's coming back. Like, yeah, we're just living in a loop.
We gotta bring back everything. Grunge is coming back.
MySpace. Let's do MySpace, guys.
Get MySpace back. Who owns that now? Justin Timberlake.
I think
right?
it's Justin Timberlake.
What?
Yeah, because he
serious?
made it. Yeah, he made it like a big time like music platform. So it's it's very similar in like SoundCloud as far as you can upload your band's music and kind of stuff like that. Like that's where it evolved to. I haven't been back, but yeah. JT.
Well, I knew there was a lot of music on it. I just assumed that that's kind of what was left over when people migrated to Facebook, was like the bands and the art pages and stuff. And then the art pages kind of died out because you had things like Tumblr and Twitter. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
A weird internet world. There's part of me though that just wants to like warn all my little students where I was like, if Tumblr tries to put together a convention, don't go. Don't give them don't do it. Don't give them your money. I know it sounds great. Don't do it. Don't do it. We've learned. Not gonna lie, I'm having so much fun with this piece.
So I did have an idea for this.
Yes.
And if I had had time to pre-sketch it and wasn't working on other projects, probably would have went the way. But I was thinking, what if I did the Noid and we were doing a Domino's breakfast cereal called Domino's, the pizza flavored cereal.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god.
I love that so much. Oh, the Noid. I mean, there is not. I make the rules. We can do whatever we want. I would love to do another one where it's not actual breakfast cereals, but we make them breakfast cereals.
Oh, like just take random mascots and like turn them into cereal characters.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun. Ooh. My brain starts whirring. Oh, okay. So wait, because I just thought of like Little Caesars. So what's another? Oh God, we're gonna leave that part up to chat. Vineyard Rory says, then you need to make the cereal recipes or what would be in them. Yeah, nothing healthy. I can promise you that. I was gonna say you got the Little Caesars, or like, oh man, I would probably take the I don't know his name, but the little pupper dog who's the mascot for Beggin' Strips, where it's the I'd get it myself, but I don't have thumbs.
Oh my god!
I'd take him and be like, I get it myself, but I don't have spoons. Oh, Joey, this is a gift. This is super fun. I think we need to do this.
So chat, get your mascots in here.
Yeah. Yeah, hit us up. Or even if you want, join the Discord and put them in there. I got a little prompt for that because Nicole is amazing. I was playing Zombicide on a friend's channel the other night, or on Halloween night, and I had a moment where I almost went to type in the Discord link, and I was like, "Wait, you're not on your channel. You can't cast that spell here. That magic doesn't work here." So spoiled.
That would be an interesting Discord plugin, though.
Right?
Or a plugin where, like, if both parties are on Discord, you can share Discord info between the two.
Yeah.
Like the Nightbot commands will recognize, oh, both these people are.
Right. They both live there. Oh, that's why. Oh, that's what I was doing. Literally in the midst of doing something and then completely forgot because brains.
All right.
Nope. So, unfortunately, I'm giving you a 10-minute warning.
Holy free holy.
Yeah, because I have to go to rehearsal.
All right. What can I get done in 10 minutes?
Everything. I want us to have time to hype our stuff one more time before we roll out. But luckily, because when I'm left to be in charge of things, things don't get done. We're still only in season 2 of posting on our Doodle Crew pages, so you've got time to get these done because they're not going to be posting for a bit. I think just collectively, everybody got really, really busy and overwhelmed, and we're getting back. And then I got really mad at Facebook, shock, because I was scheduling all the posts and it wouldn't let me schedule beyond December, like the beginning of December. I was doing this like a month ago, but I was like, but I have time now. Like, let me do it now. Because I don't. So,
It's like, I don't want to have to remember to do it later. Let me do it now.
Yes. Clearly, the remembering was how this didn't happen in the first place. So, I've set an alarm in my, or I guess a reminder in my calendar to be like, okay, now's the time you need to jump in and start scheduling posts for January, February. But yeah, I was just so mad. I was like, come on. I just love my big strong boy. I love him.
I'm trying to decide just how much cell shading to add because it's such a simple design. But I think he has also gotten a 3D makeover because the reference image I picked up looks like he's 3D on the box.
Yes, I think he did as well. I think, unfortunately, I think most of them have. I think is what I was trying to say just then. I don't know. Jeepers.
Well, what I kind of like but don't like, I like for the purposes of this piece that I'm doing, but I don't like as a character design is they've given him hands.
Oh no.
Oh, let me. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Hopefully you can see it. He has hands.
Oh, he does. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, those were feathers before.
Oh, they were.
Oh gosh. Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. How do I reverse this? Like that? Yeah. Yeah. The only other problem is, and I completely understand it because again, Mascot, but they are like their lines are so clean and so crisp. Like I'm catching some of my like really sketchy lines where I'm just like, oh no. Okay, so to give Joey a couple more moments, Maegan, are you ready for show and tell? And
Yeah, I'll just take off my shading layer because it's in a weird spot. So I'll just do base color.
beep, beep, beep.
Ta-da.
All right. Yay! Oh, look at that little
Portal.
Yes, thank you. I was like wizard cast thing. Jesus.
Wizard cast.
Brain. My
That
friend.
magic.
It's the magic. That's awesome. I love it. It's so fun. I love the staff with the loops on them. That's great. That's great. I'm just gonna keep saying that because that's my catchphrase this episode. That's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. All right, hey, so where can people find you, support you, do all the things?
Yep. So across the interwebs, especially on Instagram, I am at Maegan C Creates. And on Instagram as well, I have the link for my Kickstarter that's going to go live at noon. Just plugging that in one more time,
Yay!
just, you know, as much as humanly possible. So,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. And just a reminder to anybody, you can set it up to have it remind you if you can't back it today, which we would absolutely love. You can also back it anytime in the next month.
Yep.
Boop, boop, boop. There's that. There's that. Excellent. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. All right. Our gender bent. Look at this fun friend.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
Thank
She
you.
turned out great. Yeah. Is it Kellogg's? Who does?
Who does the
General
monster?
Mills? Hit us up.
It's General Mills. Yeah.
General Mills. Yeah. Let's get some more ladies.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the pose.
Yeah, the
and
pose
the
is fantastic.
claws.
So good. So hey, where can people find you, follow you, support you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Slooty Mage. You can also listen to me every Friday on the Older and Dumber podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, that's even in your little blurb now. And once again, plug for Twin Tiers Comic-Con, the 12th and 13th of November. Come see all three of us, especially come see all three of us draw on Sunday. Here's my quick rundown. Here's my fluffy boy.
Oh my gosh.
He's so ready. I like him. I'm really happy with him.
I love it. It looks like come at me, bro.
Right? Like
just
I mean, he's
awesome.
relaxed, but he's gonna mess you up. Yeah. Oh, I like it. I kind of want to draw him again. He was super fun. This was super fun. Yeah. So the goal also being we might try and combine these all into one piece so we can start to get I feel like the floating body, go full Marvel poster where you just have all three of them and, cereal just written on it.
Cereal.
But yeah, my thing. Yeah, you can find me all across the internet at one named Emily. Follow me. I will be advertising all of the upcoming stuff that I'm doing. Follow me on Fridays for my solo art stream. And if you want to see more of Doodle Crew art, follow us at Doodle Crew Draw, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Those, like I said, I'm finally posting art from last season. And if you want to watch those episodes, any of the old episodes, any of the interviews that I did, they're all over on the YouTube page. And if you want to find out more information, we have a link tree so you can find out about all of these amazing artists that we have here. Thank you so much, Speed Run. We did it. Goodbye.
Woo.